Hey parents and students, we're going to be starting our next unit, which is going to be division, in the next couple of days. So I wanted to show you, give you a sneak peek of the array model when it comes to division. Now we did the array model early on for multiplication, and we start division the same way. Now I do want to warn parents out there, this is going to be very different than how you and I have learned how to divide. The theory behind this is that this will help them understand how division and multiplication are related. And when 5th grade, once they start dividing even higher numbers, this will really help them and it will break it down for them in a much simpler way. So parents, just bear with me. I promise it's going to be okay. I know it's scary, I know it's different, but these students can do it. And what I'm going to show you today is not the end game. This is not how we're expecting them to divide. Even in 4th grade, we're not expecting them to divide like this. But as of right now, we just want to show them this way because it helps them conceptually understand the 4th grade way of solving division, the 5th grade way of solving division, and that standard algorithm that we learned, that long division, it really helps them understand that. So right now I have a problem, 45 divided by 3. So when it comes to an array model, we're going to make what we call a tape model, just like we did in multiplication. Now I didn't show you a video on this, so you'll just have to be a little flexible with the understanding, but the students still definitely know what this is. They should recognize it. So what we're going to do is we're going to, this time, instead of putting our first number on the side, this time we put the number that we're dividing by over on this side. So I need to have 3 on this side. Now when it comes to an array model, we're using pictures to represent numbers. So we're using our base 10 blocks. So an individual cube would be 1, a rod is that row of 10, and a flat is 100, it's where it's the 10 by 10. So I'm going to show 3 with 3 circles, which would be like my 3 unit cubes. So down this side I have 3. And if parents are confused, ask your child and they'll definitely be able to help you with this one. So we have our number here, which is 3, the number we're dividing by our divisor. And we're going to multiply that by a number up here. That's going to be the quotient. That's what we are trying to figure out. Because in division, if we take our quotient and multiply it by a divisor, we're going to get the first number. So this number multiplied by this number will give us the number in here. So I want to find which combination of numbers up here, what number up here will give us 45 in here. Now the best way to do this is to start with base 10 blocks. So 3 times what would give me something close to 45. Now students have a hard time with this, so we do it in parts.
Brenda and Alexander for dismissal, Brenda and Alex.
So I'm going to start with a rod, which is 10. So I'm going to create my array. So I have 3 rows of 10. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. So I have my 3 rows of 10. Now all 3 of these rods, or 10s, that's going to be 30. So I have 30. I can take that 30 away from 45. So I have my 45. And I'm taking away 30, I end up with 15. So now I need to create an array in here that will give me 15. So 3 rows of what will give me 15? That's what we're asking the students. So 3 rows of 5 will give us 15 because 3 multiplied by 5 gives us 15. So now we're going to just create our arrays. So I have 3 rows of 15. So here I had 30, here I have 15. So when I add my 30 and my 15, well, that's how I get my 45, my dividend. So dividend divided by divisor equals quotient. So in here, I need to create my dividend. So to get our quotient now, I just figure out what this number is. So I have one rod, which is 10, and 5 ones, which is 5. So if I add those together, I'm going to get 15. So 45 divided by 3 would give me 15. Now I know this is a lot to take in because this is so very different. And like I said, I'm not expecting the students to solve, by the end of next week, I'm not expecting them to create these these arrays. They're going to be using the area model, which they use for multiplication. Now we're just going to change just a little bit where they can solve it in division. But for right now, we're going to be using arrays because then once we start teaching that area model, it becomes so much easier for them to understand. They understand the why of it. So that's why we're doing arrays now, and then we'll move on to area models. So again, I understand this is scary. This is different, and it's confusing. I get it, it's confusing. It takes us a couple days to really get good at this. But I promise you that if your child tries this as hard as they can, it makes things so much easier for them in the end. So hopefully this video helped a little bit. If you're watching it now and you're super confused, come Monday, well, I'll go into it and hopefully it starts making more sense there. I'll probably post another video after I do this with the students for a day to help answer any questions that you may have. So if you have any questions, you can leave a comment, you can message me on Dojo, you can email me, you can do whatever. As long as I'm seeing that question, I'll be sure to answer it for you. All right, hopefully this helps, and again, I promise, bear with me, it will be okay. All right, have a great night.